Powell in To Die at Midnight.
The governor can see you now, Warden Jones.
Thank you. Well, good morning, Governor. How are you? I'm here to ask for another stay of execution for Daniel Harson.
I had an idea that's what you wanted. The answer is no. Definitely, absolutely, and finally no. I stuck my political neck out to give Harson one reprieve a month ago. No new evidence, no reason at all except your personal request.
I know that. I know the newspapers made a stink about it, and about my ideas of running a prison.
They certainly did.
I know all the other pat speeches, too. You're governor, I'm warden of state prison, but fundamentally, we're instruments of the state carrying out the due processes of law.
Well, do you disagree with that?
I most certainly do. Killing an innocent man isn't my job or yours either.
Danny Harson had a fair trial. As warden of the state prison, it's your duty to society
To electrocute him? Oh, come on, Bill, that won't hold water. I long ago gave up the idea of blaming the state for what I do as warden. What I do in the name of the state, I'm responsible for as an individual.
That's between you and your conscience, Grover.
Bill, Daniel Harson didn't kill that old woman.
Ah, you're just carried away by sheer sentiment.
I don't think I ever told you what first made me feel that Danny Harson was innocent. Didn't start with Danny. Really started with his wife. A young, sweet, unsophisticated, frightened little thing. Insisted on seeing me in my office as far back as last May. I'll never forget her. Mrs. Harson, unless you know something that wasn't brought out at the trial, you're wasting your time talking to me or anyone else.
I do know something that wasn't in the trial, Mr. Warden. I know what's in Dan's heart. Dan never hurt nobody in his life. He ain't never gonna have no office like the governor's, like this one. And he ain't never gonna have no string of horses like Mrs. Ransom's old husband had. He's not an important man, Mr. Warden. But he's a good man. And he loved that poor old lady because she was good to me and Danny.
I'm terribly sorry for you, Mrs. Harson. But there's nothing I can do to help you.
Warden, talk to Dan. Listen to him. Look at him. Then maybe you'll know what I know.
All right, I'll talk to him. But I'm afraid nothing will come of it.
Oh, if you talk to him, you'll believe him. If you believe him, something will happen.
Harson, I promised your wife I'd see you, and I'm here to keep that promise. Talk.
There's nothing much to say that wasn't in the newspapers. Oh, Mrs. Ransom, she took a fancy to Evie and Danny. He's our boy. He's 4 now. When she found out we was hard up, she let us live in a little tenant house in her place, rent-free. She wasn't a rich woman, but she was generous with what she did have and mighty good to us.
There was some question about hidden money, quite a large sum, wasn't there?
Nobody ever found it, did they? Mrs. Ransom's husband had some racehorses one time or other, and folks always told her that he'd brought her a big lump of money he'd won, and she had it hid away. Well, I never saw no indication of it. I never believed it either.
Okay, go on.
The day she was killed, I fixed a trellis for her. And then I was going into Springdale to see a fellow about a job.
The newspapers said you admitted you were drinking.
The fellow had offered me the job, and we had a couple of drinks, but we were just celebrating.
But you needed the money to get to Springdale.
I went over to Mrs. Ransom's house to borrow it from her, and the door was open, so I stepped inside to call her. And then I heard some groaning upstairs. And when I went up, I found the poor old lady, and she was just lying on the floor. I picked her up and put her in the bed, and I picked up the hammer that had killed her, too. Turned out to be my hammer. I left it in a toolkit in the back porch.
You still had it in your hand when you were arrested, as I remember.
Yes, sir. Well, like I say, I'd been drinking some, and I was confused. I run out of the house and hollered. It's about all I remember until they locked me up.
And that's it, Harson. That's all you want to tell me. Nothing you know you haven't mentioned.
I know one thing, Warden. I know you're going to kill me for something I didn't do any more than you did. You're going to take me away from Evie and Danny. I don't know, Evie. It was just too beautiful a thing to happen to me, but she did. You know, when Danny came, I just figured that I was the luckiest and the richest man in the world. I made all kind of plans for him right off the bat. We were going hunting together and fishing together, and I was going to teach him how to play baseball, and he was going to go to school clean through college and become a great man. Warden, do you think there was enough money in Mrs. Ransom's house, in the whole world, to make me back out of that?
Harson, the trial's over. I doubt if there's any chance, but I'll talk to the prosecutor, the sheriff, and the governor. I'll let you know if there's anything I can do.
There's only one thing you can do, Warden. That's execute me.
You haven't told me anything I didn't know, except that he loves his wife and son. I expect even most murderers do that.
You know, Bill, I know it's the truth. There was nothing but truth in that cell. I can feel it as plain as I can feel this table. If we electrocute that man, we'll have betrayed everything we're supposed to stand for.
Look at the facts, Grover. When I granted that stay of execution, there was an uproar about it. Last week you had a riot in the yard. A man's lying in the prison now, close to death as a result. Have you read the papers about that?
Oh, sure. It's the same old thing. I'm too modern, too easy, ought to be replaced. You want my resignation, Bill?
No. But you've got to cut out this sentimental nonsense.
Look, I've talked to guilty men before, plenty of them. Heard all kinds of stories. They're all told for a purpose. I was framed, they'll say, or I'm going to get a new lawyer and get a new trial. This man hasn't said those things. He knows he's going to die. He's resigned to it.
Grover, you're forcing me to be official about this. As governor of the state, I'm telling you to go back to your office and do your job. Danny Harsons is going to die tonight at midnight, on schedule. And I'm leaving town right now, in case you get any ideas about starting this argument again.
All right. But wherever you go, you might think about this. No matter how fair a trial is, there's always the element of human error. All of us in prison work know that. We're working to try to correct it. But it is a fact that innocent people have been convicted through some kind of mistake. Now think about that at midnight, Governor.
Well, it won't be long now.
What?
I say it won't be long till we send your friend on his way. What's the matter, Grover? You don't look well. Look, if you haven't got the heart for this job, why don't you let me take it over? I got the authority as the assistant warden.
Now I know why I never liked you, Troy.
Oh, really? I never knew you didn't like me, Grover. That'll put a different complexion on things around here.
You've got to go with the book, haven't you?
I don't believe in pampering convicts.
A warden.
Yeah, what is it, Captain?
Cal Yancey, that con that was knifed in the yard a while back.
Yeah.
He's dying. He wants to see you.
I'll be right there. I'll be in the hospital.
Maybe he wants you to hold his hand. He knows you got a sympathetic heart.
Hey, Todd. How do you feel, Yancey?
Doc says I'm dying.
Who cut you?
Didn't send for you on account of that. The Harson kid.
What about the Harson kid?
He didn't kill that old dame. I did.
He'll do it every time. He knows he's going to die anyway, so they'll confess to anything.
Shut up, Troy. Cal, how'd you kill her?
Didn't tell you nothing. Except I know I'm done for. Let you burn him without turning an eye.
Make me believe you killed Mrs. Ransom. What did she look like?
Just an old dame. Didn't have nothing worth dying for. Hat full of old Nickels and a purse. She fought like they was emeralds.
What'd you kill her with?
It was a hammer. Picked it up in a toolkit on the back porch.
Where'd you kill her?
Bedroom.
What'd the bedroom look like? What floor was it on?
Was in a...
Coma. Won't be long. And if he comes out of it, get all the information you can, call me. Jim.
Yes, Warden.
I want the governor. I don't think you'll find him at home, but you know the places he goes when he wants to hide. Try them all. Try his friends and keep right after him. It's about the Harson case.
Grover, you aren't really going to fall for that old gag, are you? Yancey was just having his little joke.
Well, maybe he was lying, but his confession will give the governor an excuse for stay of execution.
You aren't going to find the governor.
You gotta find him.
But what if you do and he says no soap, Grover? What are you going to do then?
I'll worry then.
You're worried now. You just haven't got the heart for this job.
Yeah, anything lying on the governor?
Not yet.
I just remembered he's got a brother in Morganstown. Harvey Borton. Try him there, will you?
Only 30 minutes, Grover. Suppose you do find the governor. What are you going to tell him? Look, man, all you got's a dying con's word. Where's your proof?
Yes?
Warden, Yancey just died. Before he died, he told me that Mrs. Ransom's room was upstairs, left front. And then he mumbled something about there being a horseshoe design on the wallpaper.
Thanks, Doctor. Just before he died, Cal Yancey identified the wallpaper in Mrs. Ransom's bedroom.
So what?
That means if he's right about the wallpaper, he was in the room and he did commit the murder.
Or he was lying with his last breath.
Yeah, we'll see.
Long distance.
Police business operator. This is Warden Doan, State Prison. I'm going to speak with anyone at the residence of Mrs. Ransom, 863 North Fairview Lane in Kentville. Right. Hello, Jim. Just got an idea. The governor may not have left town at all. Try the Capitol Club, but don't waste time on the operator. Speak directly to the manager.
I'm sorry, sir, but there's no telephone listed for a Mrs. Ransom at that address.
I know that. She's dead, but connect me with whoever's living there now. And hurry.
Boy, you never know when you lick, do you?
Your party is J.P. Pearson, and the number is 8492W. I'll connect you, sir. Sorry, sir, the line's busy.
Well, break into the conversation. Now, don't argue with me. Go ahead.
All right. Here's your party, sir.
Hello? Hello, I'd like to speak to Mr. or Mrs. Pearson, please.
They ain't home. And I don't think it's right for you to bust in on a body's conversation like that.
Who are you?
I'm Millie, the babysitter. And I've got a right to use this phone. The Pearsons told me I could.
Millie. Millie, this is Warden Doan of State Prison. Something very important depends on this. Now, listen very carefully. I have to know whether there's a horseshoe design on the wallpaper in the upstairs left front bedroom.
How would I know about the wallpaper in the front bedroom? I've never been up there. Mister, what a question.
Millie, now please, I want you to go upstairs and look at the wallpaper.
Well, I never. Telling an old lady like me to run up the stairs and look at wallpaper. What's ailing you, mister?
Millie, please, there's a man here who's going to die unless you find out about that wallpaper.
Man? Going to die? Oh, all right. I'll do it. You wait right here.
Boy, Yancey really dreamed that one up. Horseshoe.
What's bothering you?
Horseshoes on an old lady's bedroom wallpaper? Who ever heard of such a cockeyed thing?
Her husband, Martin Ransom, made and lost a fortune with a string of racehorses before he died. Why shouldn't there be horseshoes on the wallpaper?
Well, mister, I hope you're satisfied.
The baby's crying his head off, and the Pearson's going to be mad at me.
And there's no horseshoes on that wallpaper in the bedroom.
Only little pink roses.
Thanks, Millie.
Only 20 minutes more, Grover. I knew there wouldn't be any horseshoes. Want to know why?
Why?
Because the walls in the room where the old dame was killed were splattered with blood. Seems to me that a smart fellow like you should figure out the new tenants would have the walls repapered.
Troy, right now, I almost like you.
What are you doing?
Just be quiet.
Long distance.
Operator, get me Kentville 8492W, please.
Yes, Warden.
Jim, any news on the governor yet?
No, sir.
Try the highway patrol. They may know where he is.
Hello?
Millie, this is Warden Doan.
Oh, it's you. Mister, you woke the baby again. Land's sake, can't anybody have any peace around here?
I told you about the wallpaper.
Millie, that bedroom must have been repapered.
Mister, the baby's crying. I ain't got time to talk to you about
Wallpaper?
Millie, now listen to me. This is very important. I want you to do something for me. I want you to take a knife, go upstairs, and cut off a square of the wallpaper.
Why on earth should I do that?
Because if that second layer of paper has a horseshoe design on it, you will have saved a man's life.
I can't go around destroying other people's property like that.
What would the Pearsons think?
He'll be proud of you, Millie. You'll be the most famous babysitter in the whole state. Now, please hurry.
Well, if you say it's necessary.
Only 17 minutes more, Grover. What do you think you're going to accomplish in that time? Suppose there is a horseshoe design on that wallpaper. You can't stop an execution on your own authority. And don't bother trying to get a hold of the governor where he is. There isn't any telephone.
You know where he is?
Sure, he's hunting lodge at Pinecrest. There's no phone there.
Why didn't you tell me? I got to send a messenger for him.
Oh, Grover, why don't you give up on this? That guy Harson's is guilty.
Pinecrest? That's across the state line, isn't it?
What of it?
Yes, sir.
Jim, forget Governor Borden. Get me Lieutenant Governor Jackson right away.
What's the idea of waking up the lieutenant governor? What good do you think he can do you?
Governor Borden's out of the state, isn't he? Just a few feet across the border, but he's still out of the state.
So?
So that makes Tom Jackson acting governor with full executive powers until Borden comes back. Hold that. Let me know the minute Millie comes on. Yeah?
He's on the line.
Hello, Tom. Grover Doan.
Grover, what's the idea of waking me up in the middle of the night?
Tom, Governor Borden is out of the state, so that makes you acting governor.
So what?
I want you to issue a stay of execution in the Harson case. I think I have proof that he's innocent. A convict just made a deathbed confession.
Grover, I can't take that kind of action without consulting the governor.
Tom, do you want the death of an innocent man on your hands?
No. Here, Grover. Here she is.
Hold on, Tom. I think I've got the proof right here on the other line. Yes, Millie?
I did what you told me to. I ruined the Pearsons' wallpaper, and heaven knows what they're going to say to me.
And the baby's fretful.
Millie!
Mercy, don't shout. I was going to tell you that there's only one layer of wallpaper, and that has no horseshoes on it.
Only little roses.
Thanks, Millie. Hello, Tom. Tom, something's gone wrong, but I'm sure it's something I can straighten out if you'll just give me a half an hour. You've got to issue that stay of execution.
Listen, Grover, I know your attitude in the Harson case. You're not going to take advantage of a legal trick to put me on the spot. Execute him.
Warden, they're waiting on you.
What's the matter, Warden? You sick?
Yeah, he's sick. Sick to his stomach. Maybe I'd better take over, Grover.
Go!
go. Thanks, Warden. For trying.
Put him back in his cell.
What?
Put him back in his cell. The execution's off.
You've gone nuts, Grover. You haven't got the authority to call up an execution.
I'm warden here. Put him back in his cell.
Now, wait a minute! The warden's gone out of his mind. I'm going to take charge here, Grover. I'll bring that guy.
Now put him back in his cell. But why, Grover? Why? Why did you do this to me, to yourself? I looked in the kid's eyes and realized that in a few minutes I was going to kill him in your name and in the name of all the people of this state, and I couldn't go through with it. I still think he's innocent.
All you did was to prolong the agony. I'll have to ask for your resignation and appoint Troy Walker as acting warden. Harson will be executed tonight. So what good have you done, Grover?
Well, I flushed you out of hiding. I thought you'd listen to reason and give Harson another stay of execution.
On the basis of a deathbed confession that you yourself proved to be a lie? No, Grover. The corridor's full of newspapermen waiting for a statement. And this time, even I can't help you.
Wait a minute. Bill, pick up that extension. Will you say that again, please?
You see, I kept looking at the piece I cut off the wall, and it seemed kind of thick. And I remembered I used to stain my sister's letters over when I was a little girl, and so... Mercy, I'm out of breath. I put the wallpaper over the tea kettle, and it came apart. And there was 2 layers, and one of them had a horseshoe design that it stuck to the rose design. Now, I hope you're happy, mister. You've got your horseshoes.
I am, Millie. I'm very happy. And you've done more than you'll ever realize for a lot of people, including me. Thank you very much. Thanks, Grover. Thanks very much.
Come on in, boys.
What's the latest, Governor? Walker here says he's the warden and Doan's out.
Walker is no longer connected with this prison. The warden's in charge here. He'll make the statement.
How about it, Warden? Let's have it,
Well, Danny Harson's innocence has been proved beyond a doubt. The governor will order a new trial immediately.
What else can you add to that?
2 things, really. First, I look forward to some wonderful fishing with a couple of friends of mine. And, second, no one could ever again make me believe that horseshoes don't bring luck.